Welcome to the Warrenton City Championship Finals. This is Michael Premont with the top cut. On our left, we have Arron Sanyer using Magnezone Electric, also known as the Thunderdome. And on our right, we have Mark Wuyek using Reshiram Typhlo. Arron goes first and just starts off with a Thunder Wave. Now, if you'll notice, he didn't play a supporter, which means, wow, Arron's in for some trouble here. You really want to get the jump. Wow, both players don't play supporters. So basically, this game is going to be a slow one. It's probably going to come down to who draws out of their rut first. But if you looked at Arron's hand, when he flipped through it, you did see Rare Candy Magnezone, so he has a lot of live draws here. But we have a turn 2 Typhlo coming down from Mark. And, yeah, wow. See, this is kind of why you don't use Thunder Wave pointlessly against Reshiram. Outrage can be a real killer. If he had just sat there and passed, there's actually like no real reason to do it. I mean, yeah, he just probably should have just left it alone. But, lesson learned. We have a collector coming down, so Mark is actually the first one to draw out of his rut. He's going to have a huge advantage going into the rest of the game. He's going to be able to set up. Probably going to eke this turn. I would be really surprised if I saw a Blue Flare or Outrage come down. Though it may happen. You know, he could sit there going, okay, I have a Reshiram. I'm threatening game next turn if you don't have anything, if you continue to not have anything. So he could just go, hey, Outrage, deal with it. I have Blue Flare next turn. Can you deal with this? If the answer is no, then Mark's in great shape. But he's just gonna retreat for Cleffa. A lot safer. He's just gonna get set up. Another reason why you probably wouldn't want to Outrage is because Arron is 1 energy away from a Bolt Strike, so your Reshiram would just get knocked out. But hey, it's the risk you take, I guess. This is definitely the safer move. He's probably just gonna New 6 while Arron has nothing, and you just get a complete board before Arron can actually do anything. Try to catch if Arron does get anything, just try to catch him away. Like if a Magnemite pops out, catcher that. Dynamos, catcher that, and just try to avoid the big basics, the big Pokemon in Arron's deck. We do see a top deck of Twins, which is very not standard. Magnezone Electric usually does not play this card. The only real decks that can play Twins are like Magnezone deck, or not Magnezone decks, but Vileplume decks and Durant. Simply because if you're not one of those decks, then you're probably never going to use Twins against a Vileplume deck or a Magnezone or a Durant deck. You definitely will never. Twins is basically a dead card versus Durant, and Chandelure will just not knock anything out until they get like 6 prizes worth of knockouts before they even take before they let you use Twins. So, Twins definitely suspect. Let's see. Ooh, he does have a Bolt Strike on that Reshiram, which is very nice. It's going to get rid of his of Mark's energies. So unless Mark can respond with a Catcher or a Candy Typhlosion, which is exactly what Mark has in his hand, Arron's going to be in some trouble. I would say this is a tough call for Mark, whether he catches the Magnemite or he just gets rid of the Zekrom. If he gets rid of the Magnemite, he's still staring down a Bolt Strike to the face, so that could end up costing him big time. I would probably get rid of the Zekrom here, simply because it's the most threatening. Even if Arron does get a Magnezone next turn, which he will, because we did see the Rare Candy Magnezone, even when that does happen, Arron literally has no real aggressive response next turn. It's mainly just going to be a build-up turn. So that gives Mark plenty of time to breathe with. He's going to be able to just take a free prize here against Zekrom, catch her up something next turn, and then be in really great shape. He's going to be up like 2 prizes by the end of the next couple turns, which is going to be great. Let's see. Arron, on the other hand, what does he need to get? He needs to hit Collector next turn, to be honest. He really needs just to get those Dynamos out of his deck. He already lost 1, so he has at least 2 left. I would be surprised if he played 4. I don't think I've really seen lists that do run 4. At least not really well-built lists run 4. I don't think I've seen it. So we do have a Reshiram coming up. Yep, Blue Flare. And here comes Arron. Rare Candy Magnezone. Oh, he has a communication too. Okay, so he gets it, Cleffa. He might just go Energy Retreat. Or he can just go... If he has a switch, he can switch into it, I guess. Oh, well, he just has everything. Yeah, Aaron's hand was loaded, pending on getting that Magnezone out. So, here we go. Still hasn't played a supporter yet, so there's Collector. So Aaron's getting what he needs. Unfortunately, it just might be too late. Something is getting knocked out next turn, and it's probably not Cleffa. Yeah. Well, if you remark, what would you do here? You could do a couple things. You're not going to knock out that Magnezone. Not unless your hand is ridiculous. So your only real choices here are Dynamo or Magnemite or Cleffa. Especially since your choices now have been reduced to Flare Destroy. And your hand isn't especially hot. It's Junk Arm and Sage. So you're going to need a really good Sage off this one. That, or you're just going to end up going double Afterburner Retreat. And, yep. Okay, so we see a Pont. Now, he just drew that, so that was a really good draw. Let's see. If you knock out the Cleffa here, you're actually in decent shape, but you really need to get out a third Typhlosion in order to want to keep Typhlosion out there. You've already seen Arron go through 2 catchers. That means he's most likely out of catchers and will have to Junk Arm for the rest of them. And so you really only have to deal with like 4 more catchers. And even then, what does Arron catcher? Probably Typhlosion. And, then you can just counter kill or something. But Mark remarkably just draws another Rare Candy Com Pokemon for a third Typhlosion. So he's going to be in great shape. Would probably just Flare Destroy here. Get rid of that Cleffa. Not really waste resources to take prizes. Just kind of be like, hey, I'm going to save all these resources for my last stretch of prizes. And until then, I'm just going to try to take prizes as cheaply as possible. So, yep. Here comes the Rare Candy Typhlosion. And what do you do here as Arron? Well, there's a couple things you could do. Well, first you send up Magnezone. You probably just want to start evolving all your things. Arron is not out of this game yet. A well-timed N and a good couple catchers on Typhlosions, and Arron could be right back into this game. It's not far off enough where Arron is completely dead, but it's getting there. It's slowly getting there. So we have a couple good cards from Arron. Dodrio is a nice add. Basically, it's there for Durant and Chandelure. But it's good versus everything else too, because like a free retreat electric is pretty awesome. A one retreat Magnezone is pretty awesome. So the only thing you really need to have energy on is the Dodrio in case it gets captured. And even if they knock out Dodrio, that's one turn they're not knocking out something huge. So we see an N for 3 on Mark and an N for 5 on Arron. He's already used Magnetic Draw, so he's gonna need to draw well off this. I would have liked to see the Magneton come down instead of the Doduo, just because that, you know, a plus power, double plus power knockout on Magnezone is basically game over at this point. So he really needs that to live, and he really needs to get out more Magnezones. Oh, there's the Magneton anyways. And Dynamotor comes in. He's probably just going to burn all 3. Get rid of that Typhlosion. This is really the name of the game for Magnezone Iltric. You're really just trying to get rid of all their Typhlosions. And, you know, if you can hold on long enough to get rid of all of them before they win the game, you've effectively won the game. We see a Pokegear from Mark. This is one of the weaknesses with just straight Typhlosion. It's very supporter reliant. That means like if you draw one, if you just get caught with a no supporter hand at any point, then you lose. If you had cards like Magnezone or Ninetales, then you just have so many more ways to draw cards and just, you know, knock out your opponent. You need cards to fuel junk arms. You need cards just to attach energy, get Pokemon out. So this is really kind of a relic of the past in terms of decks being played right now. But that Sage ended up being huge for Mark. He had the junk arm in his hand, and it lets him be able to catcher up a Eeltrick, and then just have a Punt next turn. So he's going to be in decent shape for the next couple turns. Arron is honestly, Arron might be dead here. That was like the one move he didn't want to see. He really needed that Eeltrick to stay alive for at least 1 or 2 more turns, and just be able to pop out a consistent stream of 150 damage against those Typhlosions. He really needed to take him out, and now who knows what could happen. He's not even going to be able to knock out really anything. I would like to, if Arron could get a catcher, I would like to see catcher on Cleffa, just to knock that out, just for a 1 energy prize, just so he can really relatively stay keep up. So we see a communication. Now here's where Dodrio is nice. It lets Eeltrick retreat for free. So you can just like send up Eeltrick, Dynamotor onto the bench, retreat for free, and then la-di-da. Let's see. So he's going to use another Magnetic Draw. Didn't really hit anything. Sages. He's really looking for Super Rod. He has 2 Dynamos in this card, so unless he runs 4, yeah, it doesn't look like he hit Super Rod. Yeah, unless he runs 4, then, you know, more power to him. But most people run 3, so if he only runs 3, then that's his last Eeltrick, and if it goes down, game's over. This game's kind of a classic case of he just got out too slow. Sometimes what matters on who won is who drew better, or rather, who didn't draw the worse in this game's case. So, okay, so he lost burns for 2. You know, he kind of had to do it, but still, it's kind of a tough pill to swallow. He did have a junk arm. I would have actually liked to see knockout on Cleffa here. Just cause, you know, I don't like getting rid of that much energy when I don't have to. Take the cheap prizes now, you know. but because basically he's banking on Mark not hitting catcher. If catcher hits the eel trick and knocks it out, the game is pretty much effectively over. Mark has a junk arm, so yep, we'll probably see GG pretty soon. Mark's going to go down to one prize, and at that point he's just captured Arron out of the game. Every time Arron sends up a Magnezone, Magnezone goes straight to the bench because of catcher. Yep, there's the catcher, and Arron scoops it up. He just ran out of energy accelerators, ran out of electrics. So Mark takes game 1, and we will be back with game 2 shortly.